Hi, this is Shade Foray with TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm here with Steven Swenson, and this is another one of our Property Deal of the Week videos for September of 2021.
Yeah.
Now this video is actually, we're going to be talking about some properties in Texas. Texas is kind of an interesting state for property tax enforcement.
Yeah, Texas is what we call a redemption deed state, where they are a little bit like a tax deed and a little bit like a tax lien. Redemption deeds are tax deeds that still have a redemption period attached to them.
Yeah, so in other words, you're buying the property, but you may not be able to sell it right away. In Texas, the redemption period is 6 months for most properties, but 2 years for farmstead homestead or farmland properties.
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to bid up the price in Texas just like you would a tax deed state. So if it starts at $10,000 and bids up to $30,000, $30,000 is the high bid. So that's one thing that makes it a little bit different. One thing as well about Texas is during that redemption period, you actually have some ownership rights. So if you wanted to, you could rent out the property, you could live in the property. But like Shade said, you can't sell it, which means we're not going to want to put a ton of money into the property until that redemption period is over.
Yeah, and if it does redeem, then you're going to make a flat 25%, on your money for that. It's a flat 25% annual return that you're going to get. That penalty rate is. So if it's like most properties and has a 6-month redemption period, then you're going to earn that in the first 6 months. If it is a 2-year redemption period like a homestead property, then you could have to potentially wait out that full time period. But anytime it redeems, though, any portion into that year, you're going to get the full year's 25%.
Yeah, and a majority are going to have that 6-month redemption period. Also, if a property doesn't sell at the auction, then it's what's called struck off, which just essentially means it goes over the counter and can be purchased after the sale.
Hey, just a quick note, you guys. We noticed that that only about 15% of people were subscribed to us. We want to encourage you guys to subscribe so that you're notified anytime we put out a new video.
Yeah. Now, today we're going to talk about Fort Worth, Texas, and a sale that's taking place on October 5th.
Yeah, October 5th, and this is being done here through. This is actually an on-site auction, so this is one that they're holding there on-site, but the list and available properties you can find through the Lien Barger law firm.
Yeah.
And this is essentially what it looks like here. Lien Barger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson. It's really a mouthful. But they have many properties in the Fort Worth area and in the Dallas area, and so in parts of Texas and also some other states.
Everyone had to get their names in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is it's a pretty easy system to use to find different properties and see potential deals.
Yeah, so here we can see properties that are scheduled for the October 5th sale that we have coming up. So we've got some properties, they have estimated minimum bid amounts and value amounts listed there. And so let's take a look here at some of the properties that we came across. So here is a home here in Fort Worth that is scheduled for auction on October 5th. Has an estimated or assessed value of about $54,000, but an opening bid amount of $6,000. So not a very high opening bid amount, especially compared to when we look at the Zillow on the value. It actually had interior images of the property.
Yeah, well, that's always going to be helpful, even though those, those images might be old. It can at least give us an idea of the condition at that time. Also, just looking at the estimate of $166,000 and that rent estimate of $2,200, a month, that's a pretty good high rental. If that property was you did win it at the tax sale, you did occupy it, you could rent it out during that, and it looks like it's got a pretty good high rental.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's look at some more here. Here is another house that is scheduled for auction currently on the 5th of October. It has minimum bid of $13,956, assessed value of $176,000. estimated value of closer to $243,000. On the value, really a pretty high valued property.
Yeah, well, and one thing that's interesting, you can see it sold back in 2019, and so since that time, the person that bought this property hasn't paid the property taxes enough to let it go to tax sale. Now, if we can get a chance to bid on this property at the auction, that's going to be great. But these are also the kind of properties that a lot of people will try a pre-foreclosure strategy where they may contact the property owner and see if they could work out a deal before the auction takes place, where they're able to pay off their property taxes and buy it from them.
Yeah. Now let's look at another one. Here is a property that is also scheduled for that October 5th date. Minimum bid of just $3,400 on this one. But an assessed value of $154 and an estimated value of over $200.
Yeah, I can't believe that low opening bid. It almost, you'd think that maybe they just paid half a year.
Yeah.
It's possible that this one could be like a homestead property. And what would make me think that is just because of that lower minimum bid. Because what that homestead exemption does is it allows them to take off part of their property taxes, which would lower the amount. So in looking at the other one, which had a higher opening bid, this one, I would think that this one could be or possibly be a homestead property, something would look more into before buying.
Yeah, it'd be worth looking into.
But either way, great deal.
We'd look to see if it looked like it was owner occupied. It would be one of the things that we do. Now, something else that they have with a lot of the properties here is they kind of keep them in a limbo there, where it says future sale, and then suddenly they'll throw them into the sale before.
They're still working on the foreclosure.
Yeah, still working on the foreclosure on the next three properties here. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them, added to the next auction there in October.
Yeah.
But we've got commercial property here. I don't know. I couldn't tell what it.
I can't tell what it was either.
Yeah. I mean, it looks kind of like a bar or something, or it could be something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, a restaurant
Actually,
or bar.
there's no windows in it.
Yeah.
None. Yeah, must have been some type of bar.
Yeah.
I've seen one with no windows.
Yeah. Interesting note. This property also didn't have the minimum bid listed on that one. Just had the value.
I'm sure the land value as well.
Yeah, here's another interesting property. This one is in Richland, North Richland. Must be a little bit outside of Fort Worth. And this property has an opening bid of $18,000 and assessed value of $318. And estimated market value of $441.
Yeah, well, and it looks like, did they have some interior photos from a past sale?
No interior photos on this one. But for some reason, it had a couple of exterior images was all it had.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just such good photos of it.
Yeah. Interesting property there. And
really nice.
Yeah, and here's one more property that opens up at $14,000. Assessed value of $201, estimated market of $255.
Yeah, another great property, and chances are we'll probably see these properties unless they get redeemed, probably in the auction within the next month or two.
Yeah, so
usually the future sales are about a month or two out.
Yeah, lots of interesting properties there. I mean, there's hundreds in the area that are coming up for auction. So. Yeah, again, we've been looking at properties in the Fort Worth area that are coming up for auction on October 5th. That's actually not through real auction. I should have taken that off. It's actually an on-site auction.
Yeah, it's going to be an in-person auction. And, with any type of structured property, be sure to do an on-site evaluation, even with these Texas properties. Because the one thing we say about redemption deeds is bid on the property like you were buying it.
Yeah.
Because chances are you're going to have a lot higher chance of actually owning the property than you would with a tax lien certificate. You've got a 50-50 shot there. So go into it like you were buying the property. Yeah,
if you like this information, you should sign up for our membership program on tax sale support. It's only $39 a month and includes things like live training weekly and support, as well as tax sale lists.
Yeah, exactly. All the lists that we review during these Deal of the Week videos are just lists that are available to our students through the membership.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button.
Yep, appreciate it.